281, Readings. Part 11. Vibrations and Consciousness. If during the healing meditations the name of an individual starts a distinct type of vibration, should one attempt to maintain this vibratory sensation during the whole of the meditation for that particular patient, or should there be some attempt made to raise such a sensation to a higher, as the backward and forward to the circular? Raise same to the circular, this becomes more of the universal type of transmission to those that would become sensitive to those vibrations being sent out. What vibratory sensation might one expect to follow the circular sensation? As of passing into the presence of that which may materialize in voice, feeling, sight, consciousness of presence, and the like. Be not afraid, ever surrounding self with his presence of love. For he hast given his angels charge concerning thee, that they bear thee up, that thou stumblest not when thou wouldst aid. Should all treatments be made with or through one of the three-dimensional vibrations? Either through the one of the three, dependent to the consciousness necessary to be raised in the individual that seeks. For he took individuals where they were, in their own environ, their own surroundings, and transmitted to their consciousness. Either by act, word or deed that necessary to awaken or allow that necessary to bring healing to those who sought for same. Please explain the pumping sensation I experience in the lower part of my spine during meditation and what I should understand from it. Those forces in the system are the channels through which the activating sensations arise through those forces of the body for transmission to those portions of the physical body from which sensations are sent out for the activating forces in the physical bodies. Then these are samples or the attempts of those forces to rise to their activities in the consciousness of the body. Do not force aim, but so conduct the mind's trend, the body's activities, as to leave self a channel for such expression. What is the cause of the sensation I feel in my eyes at times during meditation? As is manifest by the activities of those that would bring healing to others, the healing of every sort must come first in self that it may be raised in another. This is the healing in self, with that raising of the vision that may heal in others. Please expand on the different circular vibrations which are experienced during meditation when felt in the lower part of body. As this may be expanded upon both from the metaphysical viewpoint and from the purely scientific also, well that those who experience these do not confuse themselves in the interpreting of that each may experience. Each must remember that the vibrations which are emanations of the life from within are a material expression of a spiritual influence or of a force that may emanate from life itself. Now, consider, we are viewing both of these in the light of that which has just been given. When an emanation or a vibration arises, it may only act upon centers within the human body that are sensitive to those vibrations within the body, else one may not become aware of such vibrations being present, or they may not become apparent, hence have within themselves passed from being an influence that is not of a nature other than that which produced same. When these are interpreted properly, they become that which raises for each individual the ability to become aware of the influences from without and from within. These, spiritualized, are the emanations that may be sent out as thought waves, as a force in the activity of universal or cosmic influence, and thus have their effect upon those to whom by suggestive force they are directed toward. In the varied motions, as we understand, these arise, as all things spiral would, for one that would become aware of such an emanation, such a vibration, such a force being active within themselves. Do not use those vibrations to self's undoing, by the attempts to make for self other than a channel for aid to another. When felt in the lower part of the body. All the same. We begin from one. We have passed on up to the head now. Please explain the sensations during meditation of vibration running up through the body and ending in a sort of fullness in the head. The various portions represent the activities that are being set as an active force emanating from the life itself within. Then, these become all-embracing. Hence the better understanding should be gained, whether used to disseminate and bring healing, or for the raising of the forces in self. When one is able to so raise within themselves such vibrations as to pass through the whole course of the attributes of physical attunements to the disseminating force or center, or the eye, then the body of that individual becomes a magnet that may, if properly used, bring healing to others with the laying on of hands. This is the manner in which such a healing becomes effective by the laying on of hands. Should one allow unconsciousness to follow? Unconsciousness is a physical natural consequence, unless there is the radiation passed off into some other force for raising same, or aiding same. How can one direct the vibration culminating in the head to the one they would aid? By thought. Now we are speaking of a purely mechanical, metaphysical spiritual activity that would take place. One has directed their thought to an individual who is to receive the blessing of that power or force raised. They raise within themselves that which may be sent out as a power, and it passes to those that would be in a tune or accord. Were they present, a much greater force may be felt, to be sure, less is the strain upon the physical body. During meditation I have experienced a strong vibration. The whole body vibrating. Please explain. And have I been able to direct this current to those we are trying to aid? As the vibrations are raised within self through this very visualization, this experiencing of there being those activities, the body, as everyone, is able to send or direct or create an environment to such an one to whom the thought is directed that is helpful, hopeful, beneficial in every way. Is it right to try to heal others when one has failed to accomplish healing in one's own life? Healing others is healing self. For, to give out that which aids others in reaching that which creates the perfect vibration of life in their physical selves, through the mental attitudes and aptitudes of the body, brings to self better understanding. Yes, in healing others one heals self. Is it possible to give any advice as to how an individual may raise his own vibrations, or whatever may be necessary, to effect a self-cure? By raising that attunement of self to the spirit within, that is of the soul body about which we have been speaking. Oft in those conditions where necessary ye have seen produced within a body unusual or abnormal strength, either for physical or mental activity. From whence arose such? Who hath given thee power? Within what live ye? What is life? Is it the attuning of self, then, to same? How? As the body physical is purified, as the mental body is made wholly at one with purification or purity, with the life and light within itself, healing comes, strength comes, power comes. So may an individual effect a healing, through meditation, through attuning not just a side of the mind nor a portion of the body but the whole, to that at oneness with the spiritual forces within, the gift of the life force within each body. For, aside, please, when matter comes into being, what has taken place? The spirit ye worship as God is moved in space and in time to make for that which gives its expression, perhaps as wheat, as corn, as flesh, as whatever may be the movement in that ye call time and space. Then making self in an at-one-ment with that creative force brings what? That necessary for the activity which has been set in motion and has become manifested to be in accord with that first cause. Hence do we find it becomes necessary that ye speak, ye act, that way. For whosoever cometh to offer to self, or to make an offering to the throne of mercy or grace, and speaketh unkind of his brother, is only partially awake or aware. For that which has brought distraughtness, distress, disease in the earth, or in manifestation, is transgression of the law. Please explain just what took place the night I heard what sounded like a large top spinning, felt a strong vibration sweep through my body, and when I spoke, saw a bluish spark close to the top of my head, and it felt like electricity. There is that line, that connection, that point of contact in the body physical to the spiritual forces as manifest through same. There are the centers of the body through which contacts are made, or are physically active, that at times, at all times, produce a sound. It may not be heard, it may not be always experienced by the individual, but finds expression in emotions of varied centers, varied characters. Thus the experience is that of the broader contact. Thus there are the vibrations of the electrical energies of the body, for life itself is electrical, it manifests itself in its contacts in a physical being in much the same manner. Thus the experience in self of the emotions physical being contacted by emotions spiritual manifesting in the body. These are, then, as experiences. Learn ye to use them, for they will give expressions in many ways and manners. Seek experiences not as experiences alone but as purposefulness. For what be the profit to thyself, to thy neighbor, if experiences alone of such natures rack thy body owing to its high vibration? Without being able to make thee a kinder mother, a more loving wife, a better neighbor, a better individual in every manner. These be the fruits, that it makes thee kinder, gentler, stronger in body, in mind, in purpose to be a channel through which the love of God, through Jesus Christ, may be manifested in the world. Not as a vision, an experience alone. Please give me enlightenment concerning that which took place in my forehead while meditating Monday afternoon, May 17th, and have had before and since, but of not such a long period, like an opening and shutting of a valve, and was heard by another person in the room. This, as you have knowledge of, is the opening of the centers along the cord of life, and as there were physical obstructions, produced a physical sound when opened by the raising of the vibrations through the body. This and such experiences then become assurances. Not boastful, not overlording, but producing in the positive consciousness the physical activity of which you have a mental knowledge.